talking about people that had a heart. You know, we have a lot of people in Nikken that have heart. But there's few people that just exudes it. I mean, they just walk around and go, oh. I mean, they get on stage and they go, and you're like in a daze. I am serious. I'm going, whoa. Because they talk from here, not here. And when you talk from here in the passion and you see it, then anything is possible. Anything is possible. And so that's why I'm really happy to introduce the 2012 Consultant of the Year and a heart as big as you can ever believe, Julie Tara.
For you to be up all night. Absolutely. We're talking about activation here, aren't we? We're talking about activating on every cell of our being to victory, to have the thrill of victory. Wait, I looked for victory and there's my name. That's funny. I love the word victory. I love the meaning of victory. I've loved victory all my life. It's extraordinary to see the kind of things that can happen in our world. And what's so fascinating to me is that victory doesn't just come because everything's good. Victory comes out of a lot of difficulty, out of challenge, right? So don't ask for this to be easy. Ask for it to be worth it. Is it worth it?
Yes.
Dave Johnson, I just totally stole that from you, didn't I? But you love it, because it's duplication! Absolutely. But you know, there is going to be some bumps in the road, and that's okay, because we learn as we go, and that's how we hopefully gather wisdom along the way. And I want to tell you that, you know, when you have a big dream, those things are going to be implied within that dream, that you're going to have the challenges. Every hero or heroine on the journey, any fairy tale you ever read, any myth you've ever learned in your life as a kid, did the hero just win it all like that? No! Did you have to fight dragons? Have your sword? Right? Did you have to go through wildernesses? Did you have to struggle? Yes. Yes. So I think when we struggle, we question, we doubt, we're not sure. But the point is the struggle makes us strong. Would you agree? Like the butterfly. When the butterfly is coming out of the cocoon, the worst thing we could do is to cut the cocoon to help, quote unquote, the butterfly to fly, because if we cut the cocoon, the butterfly doesn't have to struggle. And it is in the struggle that the blood goes into the wings, and that when it's time, the butterfly actually can fly. And that's what I love about Nikken, is it's not about enabling other people. It's about leading by example to say, yes, we can struggle and we can thrive. We can struggle and we can overcome our challenges. You know, I want you to know, when I was a little girl, I decided to be a ballet dancer, so I started that at 3 years old. And I had a really horrible ballet teacher. She was mean. She was not nice. But when I was 9, I decided I wanted to go to the Royal Ballet School. And I saw that school, and I made a decision, that's my school. I'm going to go there. And you know what? I had no idea that there was only 120 places in that school, and there were kids coming from all over the world to get in it. I never even considered the competition. I want you to think about that. I never even considered the competition. I just went for what I wanted. I went for the dream of being in that school. And I got in that school and I left home at 10 years old, and I never lived at home after that. Wow. 10 years old. I want you to think about yourself at 10 years old. How would it be to leave your home at 10 years old? your brothers and sisters and mommy and daddy. I cried every single night. I cried myself to sleep because I missed them so much. But I wanted a dream. I wanted that dream. And so I was willing to cry myself to sleep every single night and get up the next day and go for it again. And I can remember at 12 years old, I remember one of my teachers just going on at me, and you look like an elephant, and you're doing this, and why that, and da-da-da. And I looked at her and I said, why are you picking on me so much? And she looked at me strangely and in surprise and said, well, Julie, because I believe you're the one that can do it. You're an English rose. And I said, this is not the way to get the best out of me. And what I learned is that criticism, constant criticism, will never bring out the best in you. And what I love in Nikken is that we don't work that way. We work through empowerment, empowering each other, don't we? Where else do you have a tribe of people where you are empowered like this? I don't have any other tribe where I'm empowered like this. Do you? That is of immense, immense value. I remember when I went through the 8 years from the Royal Ballet School, 5 years of boarding school and 3 years beyond that, I remember noticing that the Royal Ballet wasn't really where I wanted to end up. In fact, I saw another company, Dutch National Ballet, and they were a lot more hip and a lot more fun. And I said, I want to be in that company. And then I remember the director of the company coming into London, and I said, I would like to dance for you, I would like to be in your company. And he said, well, I'm sorry, there's no room. And I was like, well, I would like to dance for you, I'd like to be in your company. And so I danced for him, as did a few others, and he said, great, wonderful, and we don't have any room. Huh, okay. So the next thing I did was, he went back to Holland, I got on a train. Well, actually, I think I got on a boat first, and I went over to Europe, because there wasn't the train at that point, the channel, and showed up in an audition at Dutch National Ballet in Holland, in Amsterdam. And he walked in the room and looks at me and goes, what are you doing here? And I said, I want to be in your company. He said, I already told you. I said, I'd like you to see me one more time. And he just laughed, because he just thought it was really funny. That was that tenacious. And I didn't hear anything afterwards, went back to London. A couple of weeks later, got a telegram saying, you're in. It was the tenacity of people saying, why are you on the train? Why are you going there? He's already told you there's no room for you. Do not be denied your destiny. It takes courage, doesn't it, to risk. It takes courage to risk to claim that next level. To claim platinum if you're a gold. To claim diamond if you're a platinum. To claim Royal Diamond if you're a diamond. It takes a risk, because the risk is a failure. What if I put myself out there and I don't succeed? But what is the worst risk? To not go for it, to not even try, to not even claim that, to say I couldn't possibly, who, me, why? So dare to take the risk. Dare to risk believing in others. Dare to risk believing in your downline. Have you believed in your downline vehemently and then they've left? Sometimes that happens to us, doesn't it? And what then? Are we not going to risk believing in them again, in another person? Are we going to say, I'm just not going to trust, I'm not going to believe in you anymore? Because I had somebody else who I believed in and they left. Is that going to happen? You see, we have to open ourselves. We have to be courageous. It takes all the courage we've got. But the good news is that when we need courage, we have it, right? It's not in the absence of fear that we have courage. It's when we are filled with fear and doing it anyway that we gain courage. Is that true?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's also the Lone Ranger problem. And it's so funny, Ben, that you spoke about your wife and kids and birthing. Because I was thinking about that for some reason today. Because being a Lone Ranger in Nikken doesn't work. And I'll give you an example from life of being a Lone Ranger with the idea of birthing. And that was with my first child. I went into labor on a Monday afternoon and thought, oh, great. And those contractions were every 6 minutes. No problem. And went walking around the lake and exercising and doing things, and then went through that night and they didn't stop, and no problem, I can do this. And then Tuesday came and through Tuesday, and no problem, I can do this. And Wednesday came and didn't stop. No problem, I can do this. By then I'm starting to wane a little bit. My husband's wondering what is going on. By Thursday, the contractions had not gotten any further apart than 5 minutes from Monday afternoon, 5 to 6 minutes. By Thursday, I was going down to the hospital. Still going strong. I can do this. I can do this. Lone Ranger mentality. I can do this. I can do this. Not eating. Delusional. I can do this. I can do this. Get out of my way, everybody. I know how to do this. I can do this. By Thursday night, I'm starting to really hallucinate. I haven't eaten in days. I've virtually not drunk a thing, bless you. And I'm like wondering, like, what is going on? And the doctor came in and said, if things don't change by tomorrow morning, we're going to have to do a cesarean. I was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results? But that was my mentality. Why? Because I didn't trust Western medicine because of my experience with my mother and seeing her suffer so much at the hands of Western medicine. I did not trust Western medicine, even though my dad was a doctor, even though my stepdad was a doctor, even though all my stepbrothers were doctors. I did not trust Western medicine. I did not want to be in that surgery. Friday morning comes, no change. This is 87 hours of labor. And the doctor looks at me and finally gets through and says, if we don't take you in now, you will die, and so will your baby. That got my attention. And off we went. And I thought I might die at that point going in. I thought maybe I'll die, but the result was a beautiful baby. Now, you'd think I would learn my lesson of being the Lone Ranger, but no, because number 2 came 19 months later, and I said, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I went through 48 hours of labor, which they don't like you to do after a cesarean, because you already have weak muscles, until finally the same result. If we don't take you in for cesarean, you will die, and so will your baby. Oh, right then. In other words, I needed a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. 2 years later, the 3rd child comes, and you'd think I'd learned my lesson, but I'm a very stubborn girl. I can do this. I can do this. I know I can do this. Very few people go for a VBAC after 2 cesareans. No, I can do this. I can do this. And after about 23, 24 hours, I said, I think I've learned my lesson. I need a little help from my friends. Went in for the 3rd cesarean, 3rd beautiful baby born, 3 gorgeous kids. If you are being a Lone Ranger in Nikken, and it is not thriving the way you think it should be thriving, given the amount of effort and work and love and joy that you're bringing to it, perhaps you might ask for a little help. A little help from your friends. And we all need a little help from our friends. We all need each other to make this work, don't we?
Yes.
It takes a village to raise a diamond. It probably takes a world to raise a royal diamond. We cannot do this alone, and it's one of the things I so treasure about Nikken is that it's such a perfect example of interconnection. Interconnection. You know, because when we're little, we learn that we're dependent on our parents or whoever is our caretaker. And then we grow up into the teen years, and then we become independent. And there's a big thrust about independence in our world. Let's be independent. But you know there's really no such thing. You are not independent of the magnetism of the earth, correct? You are not independent from the sun's beautiful far-infrared healing rays, right? You are not independent of the water that you need. You are not independent of your fellow man and woman. We are not. We are actually interdependent, and that is the next stage of evolutionary growth, is to understand, to truly not just understand with the mind, but understand with every cell of our being that actually we truly are interdependent. And that's what we teach in Nikken. And that's profound. That's a whole other level of consciousness awaking. And that's why we're such a powerful company. We have products that are miraculous. I love these products. I fell in love with these products from the moment I had that experience on my back with a back injury, and my back, hurt was gone in 10 minutes. My agony was gone in 10 minutes, and I fell in love with this thing that I didn't understand, called a back flex, called magnetism. What is that, for goodness sakes? And then I learned about Nikken and what was possible, and fell in love with Nikken. Are you in love with Nikken? Yes. Are you in love with what it represents for you in your life? Because we all have greatness in us. We all have the ability to create and to co-create, but we also have the ability to destroy. We are given great abilities. And as much as we need courage to go out in the world and make things happen, facilitate things happening, we also need to understand the power of our creativity and the power of our destructiveness. And we're either creating or destroying in any given moment with our thoughts and our feelings, with who we're being in the world. We're either creating or destroying in any given moment. That's quite a responsibility, isn't it? It's a shift to become conscious of how we can be so creative and co-creative. To become really fully conscious of that. And to understand that to destroy is really to destroy the life force. And to create is to create the life force. And that's what we do. That is what we affirm in Nikken, is life itself. And in a world right now that is fairly committed to death in a lot of different ways, we are saying, no, 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 we stand for life. We stand for thriving, not just surviving, not falling victim to some economic situation or not. No, no, no. We say we're going to live. We say we're going to live big. We're going to live grand. We're going to help others live grand. Do we not? Yes. That is a very important distinction to understand that. And if you get that connection inside, that's like a lighting up of a flame within your heart. And then your job is to go out and help others light the flame, or to fan the flame that's in there, that may have gotten a little dim in their lives. To fan that flame back up with hope, with strength, with power, with love, with joy, to say you can have a celebratory life. We stand for that. So it takes protecting. It takes learning how to protect that little voice in you, the flame in your heart. How are you going to protect that? Guard it with your life, I say. Guard it with your life, that flame in your heart. Because there may be a world committed to snuffing you out, to snuffing it out. Are you going to let that happen? Or are you going to protect it? Be the protector. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yes. It's incumbent upon each of us to do that. Yes, we have our friends. Yes, we call our mentors. Yes, we need to do that. That is so important. But ultimately, in the dark days, in the dark nights, it's up to us to keep the flame lit. Isn't it? I can remember very vividly after I had my healing center, and we didn't literally go bankrupt, but we had to close the doors because a recession came and money dried up and everything went awry. We were way, way, way undercapitalized, and our overhead was far too great. And we had to close the doors, and we lost everything on that. And I can remember being in Boulder and I had 2 jobs. I had my healing practice. I also worked for a holistic healthcare magazine. I was their advertising manager for the Boulder area. I had my 3 kids to raise and 6 kids to support. And I was scared. And I took everything I had. And I can remember one Christmas, I had absolutely no money for Christmas presents. I remember seeing this beautiful leather jacket that my husband really loved. I remembered it. And I was like, I want to get that jacket. I want to get that jacket for him. But I couldn't. I didn't have any money. So I went and started cleaning houses. Now, come on. I had 3 kids. I had a career in ballet. I knew healing work and was good at it. I'd done cleaning work in London years before when I was a student. And here I was doing it again at 37 years old. And I remember so distinctly going to clean this house that was so awful. It had been so, it was just disgusting. And the people had lived there a long time and they'd moved out. And we were cleaning it for it to be resold. And I was literally cleaning the fireplace. And as I cleaned it, I got covered in soot. I don't think I've ever told this story, because I know, Reed, you've never heard this story. And I sat there on the floor and said, no, this is not my life. This is not what I was put on this earth to do. I refuse this life. And that was a very defining moment for me, a deeply defining moment where I said, I will not live like this anymore. I did make the money and I did get the jacket and other presents too. And that was fun, you know, to work hard and get it. But I knew at that moment no. I was not put here to do that. Because ever since I was a little girl, I had known that I was put here to do something big. I just didn't know what it was. Something big. And literally, as a little kid, I just wanted people to be happy. My mom, I just wanted her to be happy and stop crying every day and every night and fill herself with these alcohol and drugs. I just wanted her to be happy. I just wanted us to be happy. I just did Humans Being More 2 weekends ago for the 21st time. 21st time. And I had fabulous friends with me at that Humans Being More. People I am so excited to help. And you know, we were working just on intention. And I looked at intention and I was like, my intention is to thrive. But then I had a question. Sometimes, is my intention to suffer? I would think, well, why would my intention ever be to suffer? Well, because others suffer, and it makes me feel connected to them if I suffer too. Do you ever feel that way? How you want to be connected to people, but you're going below the line to connect? You're connecting in the suffering instead of connecting up in the victory? Do you know what I'm talking about? And I was like, no. And my intention is to thrive. And then, you know, we do that drawing and we do it with the opposite hand, right? So I'm lefty, so I have to do it with my right hand. And then I did this big circle, and it was the earth, it was a big globe. And then I took all the people around the globe and everybody smiling. And then I just wrote in my right hand, which isn't too bad, but that's okay, joy to the world. Joy to the world. It came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I always wanted as a little girl, was joy to the world, that the world would be a happy place, a celebratory place, a place where people are thriving, where people are not in need, where we can help, where we can do things like help people get out of suffering with amazing technologies that come from Japan that we hardly understand, but we know they work. And help people to get out of financial destitution and up into a great manner of living, whatever that is for them, so they're no longer worried about that. And bringing them up so that they can be free. Free. It's about liberation. I have had dreams all my life, as you do too. Some of them are very peculiar dreams, and I've had a dream for years about all these different tribes from all around the world coming up to the mountain, climbing up the mountain, and meeting at the top of the mountain. And there's a big lake at the top of the mountain, and that's where we meet. And I've had this dream over and over again, and I always wondered, like, what does this dream mean? I don't understand. What does this dream mean? But I say it's Nikken pulling together all the tribes of the world to meet at the top of the mountain and help each and every person who wants to be at the top of the mountain to be at the top of the mountain. That it is about liberation. This is who we are. This is why I'm here. I have never had a doubt about Nikken. Nikken is a divine vehicle, in my opinion, and it is here to become one of the greatest companies on this earth. And we are the ones that are going to enable that to happen. And I say, we do it. Take the confidence, know that you have been chosen. You may think you chose Nikken. I'm going to suggest you were chosen for Nikken. And if you were chosen, that means it's in you. It's in you to thrive. It's in you to be a wonderful coach and example for others. I want you to go to bed tonight and not be able to sleep. I want you to go to bed tonight and think about all the people in this world that you can help, because you are a messenger of hope. That is who we are. God bless. Thank you so much. Love you all.
All right.